Good afternoon, everyone. It is 6:03 and I'm calling this meeting to order. And if y'all will bear with me because this is my first time attempting this. If those on Zoom can identify themselves, I believe we can hear you. Correct?
Yes. Just the board members to identify themselves.
Yeah, the committee members.
Erasmo Villarreal is here.
You.
Roberto Rodriguez is here.
Thank you.
Lalo Uribe is present.
Thank you.
Fred Villarreal is present.
And I'm present. Thank you.
There's a quorum, yes.
Yeah, we have a quorum. Thank you. First item on the agenda is Hvac presentation.
We're going to start with public comments.
I'm sorry, I can't find my agenda.
There you go. Here's an agenda.
Oh, it's done differently. Okay, the first item on the agenda is public comments. To be submitted by Laila Benavides.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Welcome, everybody. I know it's been probably about 3 months, but it seemed like 3 years since we met with you all. I'm glad you're able to join us. We do have public comments submitted to me by our board president, Mr. Bellis, and I'm going to read verbatim what he sent to me. Good evening, committee members, UIC employees, and other present or listening individuals. Committee members, I want to extend the Board of Trustees' gratitude for your continued hard work. Your dedication over the years does not go unnoticed, and your input is always anticipated and valued. Even though we are navigating through difficult times, I encourage your participation and advice as we get closer to wrapping up our bond projects. Once again, thank you for everything and stay safe. UIC Board President Ramiro Bellis III.
Thank you. The bond committee members that are on Zoom, I assume you have your agendas from the email?
Yes, ma'am.
If you ask me to share, I don't think I know how to do that. They'll have to do it for us.
Right.
Good.
Ms. Haynes, I'd also like to submit my own public comments.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Eduardo Zuniga for his service to our district. I think without his leadership handling this $408 million bond project, I just saw myself, bond project, it would have been difficult, and I know Enrique and the staff here would agree with me. For his leadership, for those Tuesday morning construction meetings where maybe we saw eye to eye and sometimes we didn't, but it was always in the good, always good discussions about what was best for our students. And without his leadership, this would have been very difficult to go through. We had a failed bond election. We got through difficult times, buying portables, and and then when we went back out to the public, through his leadership and Mr. Santos' leadership, and the board buying into what we needed, we had a successful bond election. And here we are, so many years later, 7 years later, trying to wrap it up. But at least now we know there's less students in portables for safety reasons. And then just right now, when we're thinking about where we're going to seat all those students, if we have to only seat 10 kids there, at least now we have those portables to move them out to. But through his leadership, Mr. Zuniga, I know you can hear us. We thank you. There really isn't enough thank yous to say. But for now, I'd like to open it up to Mr. Rangel.
Thank you, Laila.
Good evening, Bond Oversight Committee members, Madam President, and audience, members of the audience, and the public. I also like to echo what Ms. Benavides mentioned. I'd like to thank Mr. Zuniga for all his support for the last 7 years we've been working on this bond program, and it's been very successful in large measure to his guidance and his advice and his expertise. And working together, we have achieved great things. All our projects have been successfully completed, and the last ones are underway, as we will present in a little bit. But again, thank you, Mr. Zuniga, for all the years of support, and we wish you a great retirement. I know you have a lot of people that are very envious and jealous of you. But I wish you the best, and make sure you invite us for when the pandemic gets over. Invite us to your ranch and have a cookout out there. But wish you the best and good success. It's been a lot of fun working as part of the team. Thank you.
And I want to thank Eddie. We go kind of way back to high school and FFA days and gee whiz, I don't remember. But thank you. It's been wonderful working with you, and I'm so happy that you're retiring and you're going to enjoy yourself. And thank you for leading us through all of this. Thank you very much. Do you want to say something, Mr. Z, since we won't be seeing you? Can you unmute him?
We can't unmute it. He's muted.
Can you unmute him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has to do it.
You have to unmute yourself.
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Well, first of all, thanks, Lila. Thanks, Enrique. It's been wonderful working with you guys these past 15 years. I know with this committee, it's been a blast working with y'all for the last six plus years. You kept us on our toes. Whenever we present, you'd ask those tough questions. But again, it kept us on our toes, and we appreciate that. This is a great committee. This is not a rubber stamp committee, which is what I'm really proud of. So I wish you all the best of luck. We'll see you down the road sometime, guys. Oh, goodbye.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda items, we have comments, informational items. Update on additional construction bond projects for the replacement of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system for SLC classrooms at 8800 McPherson. Former Salinas Elementary HVAC RTU's relocation, George Washington Middle School storm drainage improvement and internet access point at all UISD campuses.
We're gonna ask for special permission to move up, not really another item, but it's part of them, the internet access point, presented by Mr. Pettis. It is his birthday today, so he
Happy
said that's his
birthday.
present.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Madam President, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, audience, and the public, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Mike, can you answer the presentation, please? One of the items that we did with the bond oversight due to the COVID-19 was to be able to put some access points outside our campuses. This is to allow students access to the internet. This could be students that don't have access at home. Can you do the next slide, please, Mike? And houses that are close to the school are able to access this kind of thing. So far, we have 44 campuses have been pre-wired already. This slide was as of Thursday. The project is moving fast. We have already 11 campuses that are already up and running with the access points. The completion of this project will be on August 28th. We started from El Cenizo to Rio Bravo, from the poor areas of town, coming to the north of the city and then Mines Road. And by August 28th, all of our schools will have internet access in the parking lots and in a quarter-mile radius around the campus. So the kids that want to access the internet, they'll be able to do so. This was done with the bond. Filters, it is filtered. The internet is filtered, so only appropriate materials and things that we teach our kids will be accessible with these routers. Can you go to the next one, please? Another project that we did also was to upgrade central office. Why central office? Because all the traffic that goes to the internet, for example, if a teacher is conducting a class from one of our classrooms to our students, all the traffic comes through central office. So we have a bottleneck here at central office. So with the upgrade of the core switches here at the office, we were able to get rid of that bottleneck. That really helped out a lot of our campuses in doing that kind of project. That project is completed already. We did it in the summer. The next one, please. The next one is, most of our campuses can broadcast from the campus at 30 and some at 50%. What does that mean? Like the high schools, only half of the classrooms will be able to broadcast outside because we would need to upgrade our entire network, and we wrote an application to E-Rate to be able to do that, but that hasn't come in. So South High School was the only campus that was at 30% limitation, which means only 30% of their classrooms will be able to broadcast. With this upgrade, which will be completed this week, they'll be able to do 50%. So if South High School has 150 classrooms, 75 at any time are able to broadcast to the outside without any problems, okay? Can you do the next one? And last but not least, we're also upgrading curriculum and instruction, and you might want to ask why this is not for our students. Well, this is the hub where all of our instructional staff resides, and they're the ones that train our teachers. So before we do the upgrade, right now, if a coordinator wants to teach the science teachers, for example, they can't do it because it will be buffering. In other words, it doesn't have enough bandwidth to be able to broadcast to the outside. This project will be completed by August the 21st, maybe even sooner. We're starting this Saturday already, so it will be sooner. So that's taken care of also with bond funds. I believe that was the last one. I think so. So you all have any questions, just to give you a status of some of our projects that we've been working on in the summer. But so far, so good. It's been an interesting last 3 or 4 months. You know, we're making progress. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, members of the committee, the members here of the audience. Good afternoon. What I want to be presenting is the SLC classrooms. You have it's in the no, it was the one.
The first time.
On the first presentation.
It's 8,800.
We go back to the first.
It's part of the first.
It's part of that one right there. That'll be the number 1 right there, where it says the replacement of heating and ventilation. There. At the very top where it says number 1, I think if you press, it has a link on that number 1 there. It doesn't?
It was part of the school guideline for the vendor.
Yes.
No, it's toward the bottom, sorry. Well, good afternoon again. What I'm going to be presenting right now is an update as to the SLC classroom HVAC replacements that were done. In this case, if you go to the next slide, it'll show you the campus right there. The area that we went ahead and affected is actually building C. And toward on the right-hand side of the slide, you'll notice that it's covered by the pictures, but that's the area of building C where the SLC classrooms are located. If you go to the next slide. What this project encompassed was the fact of removing the existing HVAC systems, the ductwork, and the exhaust systems. Both of these classrooms that we have right there, previously there used to be laboratories. And the fact of this being the case, so we had to go ahead and take all the exhaust ducts and also the air conditioning ducts that were actually supplying these units. After we did that, which entailed having to remove all the grid work, we went ahead and added 2 rooftop units. The ones they're in the north end. The one that is on the northwest side is the one that feeds the first classroom, which is on the north, and then the one that's on the northeast side is the one that supplies the air to the second one. Can you go to the next slide, please? These are the pictures of you can see right there. This would be the classroom, which is on the north end, the SLC classroom, which is, and the rooftop unit that supplies it. And the following slide we'll go ahead and show you the other classroom, which is south of that classroom. And again, they have been completed. They're operational as we go ahead and speak right now. And the next slide is just go ahead and indicate the budgets that were allocated for that project. And we were able to complete it within the allocated budget and the time. The next slide is just a timeline, which final completion was the 30th of July. And as I mentioned, both units are operational. Any questions on this project? Thank you. If we go to the next presentation, it would be on the former Salinas Elementary School. And basically, we all know that this school will be demolished. And as part of trying to take advantage of the assets that the district has, we went ahead and worked on this project to relocate the 5 units that had recently been installed in this facility. If you go to the next slide, we'll see right there, these are the rooftop units. 5 of these units were removed from the former Salinas. They were brought over to the current United Middle School 6th grade, and they have been installed, as you can see in this slide right here. And the following slide will show you physically these rooftop units already in their locations at United Middle School 6th grade campus. The following slide just indicates the location of where these units used to be at the former Salinas Elementary School. And finally, the units, when we went ahead and removed them, one of the things that we did, we also requested this contractor to ensure that these were covered to prevent any kind of water from infiltrating while we had them open. And we're kind of lucky that we did this because we had some rain several weeks ago that would have really affected the building. Following slide just shows the budget, and again, we were within the allocated budget for this project. And finally, the timeline is the last slide that we have right there, which is to be completed on 30th of July, and that has been completed.
Those units look really nice. How old were
These units were actually 2 years
they?
old.
2 years old.
That was one of the reasons why we said we cannot leave them there, because it would have been not appropriate for us to have just left them there.
They look great.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for recycling, reusing, refurbishing.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I guess it's CEC would be continuing on.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Chair, bond committee members, and members of the audience. The next presentation is an update for JOC 014-2019 Erosion Control and Restoration at Washington Middle School.
Part of the same, this is first time. Well,
That's the same item. the
Oh,
2A.
it's same item.
It's in the 2A.
no.
It's the other item.
First item, the same item of the HVAC?
Yeah.
Just for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still within there.
Again, good evening. The next presentation is an update for JOC 014-2019 Erosion Control and Restoration at Washington Middle School. Here to present the project scope of work is project engineer, Mr. Jeff Hvac.
Good night. Madam Chair, members of the committee, Jeff Hvac with Civil Engineering Consultants. Just kind of want to give you all a brief update on what we're doing at Washington Middle School in regards to the erosion control and restoration. The project initially began with some concerns that we were getting erosion of the outer banks. If you jump to the next slide. One more. As you can see, the school is adjacent to a stormwater pipe that runs out into the creek. And there's been some erosion caused by the stormwater pipe as well as the turn within the creek. So we were asked to come in and evaluate the condition of the slope and to try to mitigate and control that slope from eroding further, which would impact the school if it got even worse. Next slide. So what we've done is we've come in and put in what they call mechanical stabilized earth system that involves what they call Gabion rock berms, retaining wall structures, along with a wire mesh erosion control up at the top, where, as you can see there, there's a 72-inch pipe that comes into the system. We're having to divert that pipe and run it through this system and then back out into the creek. We're realigning the creek so that we can remove that water up against the edge of the wall and control the runoff going through the system. The system also includes a temporary section, which is on the south portion there, that also shows we're using a geogrid type erosion control on that wall section as well to control that part to further mitigate that road that runs between the school or on the outside of the school that's for the Border Patrol's use. So we're trying to come in and correct a permanent situation to protect the school and the embankment along the edge of the school. We've come in with a temporary control project that was completed in February of this year, and that included some of the stabilization to try to control it during the rain season. So we were able to hold off until now to actually complete the final design. We'll jump to the next slide. As you can see there, the slope and the vertical wall is about 15 feet in height, and then there's a slope wall that's also about 18 feet in height. And the two sections show the difference between the temporary and the permanent wall section. Next slide. Basically, we're bringing that 72-inch pipe through, connecting it to an inlet, a junction box, and that water is going to be then dispersed out through two 42-inch pipes into the creek system. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like, how it might be stabilized, there's geogrid that's pushed back into the soils and it's brought up in lifts as they construct the system. And that'll protect the high water, the water from the creek section, as well as the upper sections where we get water coming off of the top. The idea here is to have a permanent solution to protect the school. In a nutshell, we're basically creating a stabilization system that's going to protect against erosion.
Any
Thank you.
questions? And Osmo, any questions? You're the question person.
You want to share the time?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. If you don't mind going back a couple of slides, the second slide actually, the presentation. Okay. This is a timeline or a summary of the timeline that we have for this project. Again, it's titled the Washington Middle School Storm Drainage Improvement Project. The CEC consultants as their engineers. We have a project budget amount of $650,000, which would be from the bonds of funds. The contingency allowance is in the amount of $70,000, and we have liquidated damages of $1,500 per day. Okay, this would be treated as a job order contract, and the date of approval for procurement method was in September 30th of 2019. So looking at these other items required for approval, we have a pre-proposal conference date scheduled for August 19. We have the final date for vendors to submit questions to the purchasing department, which would be August 26th, and the proposal due date September 2nd, 2020. Okay. This project, once the bids are submitted, will be presented at the Bond Oversight Committee meeting dated September 7th. And we will also present to the Board of Trustees about September 15th, 2020. The projected start date for this project is October 19th, and the substantial completion date would be May 21st, 2021. So in summary, that's our timeline for this project. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you, gentlemen. The current bond project status report?
Madam Chair, bond committee members and members of the audience, following construction project summary report and current bond project status for the following school projects are as follows. First project on the list is the elementary school 31, which is the Coves at Winfield. That project start date was May 2018, and substantial completion is August 2021. It's approximately at 87% completion. The second project on the list is the middle school number 12, Cuatro Vientos. That start date was November 4th, 2019, and substantial completion is January of 2022. We're approximately at 28% completion on that project. The third project that I will report on is the demolition of Old Salinas Elementary School. The contract is to be determined. The start date for that project is October 26, 2020. Substantial completion September 30th of 2021. I believe the other two projects have already been presented. Okay. So going into more detail on the projects I just mentioned. Turn to page 3. One more page, please. This is the Cove at Winfield Elementary project report for the week ending July 30th, 2020. In general, CMU walls and paintings throughout is in progress. Lighting installation and ceiling tiles are ongoing. Ceramic tile floor installation is completed. Vinyl base installation is ongoing. Millwork cabinets installation is ongoing. Classroom accessories installation is also in progress, and kitchen equipment installation is ongoing. That's the interior of the building. Exterior site work, we have it continues, earth moving, all surrounding areas in progress. Sidewalks and parking work in progress. The following slides are just some progress photos. Give you an idea of the 87% completion that we have it at. These are just different exterior views. We have some interior views with some of the finishes already in place. Okay. Yeah, some views of the cafeteria. Serving lines. Some of the equipment. The building is fully equipped and just minor finishes pending. Some of the millwork that's already in place in some of the office areas. Just some interior views of classrooms. Any questions?
So the code will be ready next year,
Yes,
2021?
2021, August.
How's the construction been during the pandemic?
It's been, of course, they're following all the ordinances and everyone maintaining their distances. But it's gotten to the point where most of the interior work is already in place. So it's pretty limited, there's not that many people in that. And now working the exterior, it's a lot easier, they got their room to work.
Exactly.
So it's been moving, it's great. Thank you. Okay. The next project update is for the middle school number 12. Turn to the third page, please. Upper Middle School, the project report for the week ending July 31st, 2020. The site work, overall site is being maintained in proper condition. Steel joists are being stored on site. Grading for bus loop ongoing based on minimum slopes requested by the school district. Testing agency has been on site throughout since the beginning of this project, including field density tests and taking samples. Quality control. Area A, mechanical and electrical work is ongoing in the corridors and classrooms. Area D, the second floor reinforcing still in place for upcoming concrete pour in Area D. So we can go to the project photos. You see an aerial view, pretty much of the project limit. The entire slab has been poured. First floor walls have been placed and they're working on second floor areas. You see some interior and some exterior views. Some of the wall plumbing lines. Yeah, the scaffolding for some of the exterior wall finishes. So that project is also moving along smoothly.
Is the water tank on the school property or adjacent or?
Yes, it's right south of south property line of it. The final project I'm going to present tonight is an update on the demolition of the former Salinas Elementary School. The first slide. The area that's highlighted in red are the school grounds with the structure on it, which is scheduled to be demolished. Including all the interior roads. Just a detailed site plan showing which areas to be demolished and what's to remain. We will be keeping the portable buildings on site. Everything else will be demolished and hauled off. And these are just some exterior views of the existing structure. Now, turning to the project timeline, we had the pre-proposal conference on July 22nd, this past month, and the proposals were due and submitted August 5th. And right now, this week, the following page, if you turn to the next page, you'll see the following bid tabulation sheet that's showing the three company bids that are being evaluated for recommendation by an evaluation committee this week. So this project has been bid and we will be doing evaluations this week. Yes, yes. If you see the timeline, we do have that the bid is to be presented to the Bond Oversight Committee meeting September 7th. And to the regular Board of Trustee meeting September 15th. We have the project scheduled to begin October 26th and substantial completion September 30th, 2021, approximately 1 year.
Excuse me, September 7th is a holiday. Is it
Yeah,
not a
well-
school holiday or?
Well, yeah, no, they knocked it off our revised
Okay.
calendar. But if
No,
we'll
that's
get with you, if you want, we could meet on Tuesday.
Yes.
No, we're fine. I'm just, I'm old school where Labor Day was always a holiday and I don't think, different world.
I
Right?
can move it.
We can
Okay,
easily
that's
move it
fine.
to Tuesday. We no
Yeah,
longer have a business committee meeting. We go straight to the board. So
okay.
if you want, we can move it to Tuesday. And it would be this setup as well.
That would be nice. Move it to.
Okay, Asma, did you hear us? You're muted. I can't hear you, you're muted.
There you go.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Nachi, I have a question for you. Why do we have such a large contingency allowance when it's strictly a demolition project?
Well, we have, we still have some site drainage and we have a lot of underground on site. So the specs do call for going 3 feet underground and taking everything that's up to 3 feet out. But again, that contingency is just for our use only. If we deem necessary or there's anything else that we require.
Okay.
Yes, and it is part of the original budget, which was $1 million.
But if not used, we get.
Yes,
On back.
yeah, that money is to be returned if it's not used.
Anything else at Asma?
No, I think that was just my question. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You might be getting to, what was the time, to be determined, what was the timeline on that? When do you think of, that might happen?
Well, we already got our bids, so we're looking to present to,
Oh, just for the bids, okay.
yeah, the bond oversight next month, either on the September 8th. And then to the Board of Trustees, September 15th, so that we can begin construction October of this year.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
So,
Program financial report, please.
Yes, I was looking at our last report and it was dated February 25th, and that was such a different world than what we're experiencing right now. But life went on, and you see that we're still busy here, we're still here. So I'm comparing what happened in February 25th to our numbers today, and really our cutoff is July 25th. Some of the big items that we added to our bond oversight expenditures was actually what y'all awarded or approved the last time, which was a relocation of those RTU units. So that hit the Salinas Elementary Replacement Project by the tune of about $194,000, which included the line Decker contract of $165,000 and the contract with DVR of $29,000. And then the other big line item, and it showed in Mr. Bettis's presentation, were technology related. Some of it was for the access points that he talked about that we're putting in our parking lots at all our campuses, right? And then the other one was the network upgrade of our, you saw the different pictures, right? Of our central office network upgrade, the CNI network upgrade. And some of these projects also came from bond interest. And this is where I think Mr. Zuniga sent y'all an email kind of explaining to you that we were kind of in a tight race for time, you know, to see if we could move on with these projects. So I think he got emails from you all saying that it was okay to use our bond interest. We also set aside a PO for $1 million for E-rate. And the way E-rate works, and Mr. Cruz is here if you have any questions, is this is a grant or kind of a grant from the federal government that helps you with network upgrades depending on your demographics. And so knowing our demographics, we're 75% economically disadvantaged. We set aside this $1 million and we can probably get, I don't know, about $4 million worth of federal assistance. So it's related to network upgrading, which we have found at this time that it's very important. The capacity of our teachers to teach out to their students is very important. The broadband width and, you know, things of that nature. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone here, but we realize it takes money. And if we can make 1 million turn into 5 million, we'll take it anytime.
Yes.
So the other projects, also, we went ahead and finalized the IFPs. We ordered them for the main high schools, for the main campus at the high school. They were our last campuses where we went in there. And I think those are up already. I think they were, 15 at each high school. And we let the principals choose, which rooms to put them in. And then the final project that you saw under interest earned projects, we also, again, did the United South High School Network Project. It had a 30 capacity, and doing that network upgrade, it brought it up to a 50% capacity, which makes a big difference at a high school. The other financial transactions that we did a refunding early on in the year, but because the market changed drastically during this pandemic, we had an opportunity to refund over $30 million of our bonds. We're actually closing on August 18th. We get a net present value savings of about $2 million and some annual savings of about $205,000. So our financial advisors continue to look for opportunities for us to refinance our older debt that was issued out when interest rates were a little higher. So they're constantly looking for these opportunities. So we had that done this summer, and it's closing actually in a couple of days. I think now, yeah, the whole bond election, the bond proceeds have been issued already. The last tranche was last July. And so now we're just looking for the refunding opportunities, and then we just maybe start paying down our debt. So that's where we are in our finances. And I think next month, we'll bring you those two items, and the process is once those items are awarded, you'll see the purchase order for it in the contract.
We lost connection, right?
I don't know if
I can't hear.
anybody on the USD side.
No, I don't hear. I hear Lalo and I hear Erasmo, but I don't hear the school.
No, I don't scare the school either.
Me neither. I guess we got disconnected.
Should we wait or dial back in? I'm not sure.
I think let's wait a little bit. Let's see if they can hook us up.
Yeah, let's wait. Let me text.
They should be the ones connecting. They disconnected.
Yeah. Maybe let me text Lyda and let her know.
You know, this is the first Zoom meeting that I've had any issues with. I've had tons of them, and this is the first one that I run into a problem with here.
Me too.
I think we need to allocate them more money so they can upgrade the main office.
Yeah, it's gonna be the next. The network line to the main building. The bandwidth.
Okay, so I already texted technology. Let's see what they do.
Can they hear it now?
Can you hear us now?
There you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Lasmo, you were talking? You said,
No, I'm good. We were talking amongst ourselves.
Oh.
Were they able to hear Lila's presentation?
were you able to hear Lila's presentation, Lasmo?
Just the beginning of it. That was it.
Oh, okay.
So Lalo, Roberto, y'all didn't hear it either?
I'll bring you up to date next.
We just hear the beginning.
Okay. We need to have another meeting next month, either Monday, September 7th, which is Labor Day, Tuesday, September 8th. We have two dates and 2 items for sure that we have to approve.
I'm good with either date, Madam Chair. Just if staff can let us know via email.
Yeah.
I'll work it into my schedule.
That's Lalo, Roberto. Erasmo? Same
I'm
thing?
good. I'm good with the days.
Yes, me too. I'm good with the days.
Okay, then y'all let us know how y'all are doing with the presentation.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Is that September 8th now?
Yeah, I think September 8th would be better.
Yeah, I think so.
Tuesday, September the 8th.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
And I'll repeat my presentation.
Well, in a nutshell, no new monies left. We're looking for refunding opportunities.
Great.
And we'll bring you a report next month.
Status report on our additional expenditures.
Is there anything else any of y'all would like to add?
Nope.
No, Madam Chair, great job as always. I know I'm one of the bigger cheerleaders of the staff and the brass there at the district. Sad to hear the news of Mr. Zuniga, someone I consider a good friend, and I'm sure everybody on this call and in that room considers him a good friend.
He never came back, Mr. Zuniga, he never came back, man.
Yeah, we just see his GPS.
But yeah, I'm glad to see. I mean, I didn't realize it had been 7 years already since his bond had passed, and so we've made good strides. We continue to make good strides. Staff continues to make very good recommendations, and so kudos to everybody involved. We live in a very different time now, and so obviously we'll adapt and improvise and move forward and do what's in the best interest of the district.
Take care, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody, and we will see you all like this.
All right. Y'all stay safe.
Tuesday, September the 8th. Thank you all very much. And this is Benavides. We're looking forward to continuing this with under your leadership.
We will continue bringing new items.
Thank you all. Then a meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.